All right. In all my videos, I get a lot of comments about people saying, well, Cardano's still at 30 cents. Cardano's still at 40 cents. When are we going to see some price action? I want to give you four major reasons why I am not worried about Cardano's price and why I think price has still yet to find like that big upwards momentum, right? There's no reason for Cardano to be like seriously outperforming Bitcoin right now. I want to give you a lot of reasons why Cardano is exactly where it should be. And if you are new to my channel, down in the description, we have a Crypto 100x blueprint that's really kind of going to go over a lot of these things for you. So if you want to look at it while we talk about this, I think it'd be very beneficial for you, especially if you want to find ways to increase your portfolio with Cardano native tokens, which is something I'm a big proponent of. But if we just want to talk about Cardano price, and people say like, why is it not performing like Solana? I think Solana is an outlier, and I think it's doing great. But Cardano is doing exactly what it should be. It's really doing exactly what the other altcoins in the market are doing, and so there's no need to be worried. I over the last month in October, this month in October, have been doubling down on a lot of my ADA investments, and these are the reasons why. Okay, so the first thing is what is going on. The four things we're going to talk about is global liquidity, U.S. federal interest rates, the 4-year cycle, and then Cardano developments. So the first thing that we want to look at here is global liquidity. Global liquidity is called M2 basically, and what it means is how much money is in the world ready to be spent. When global liquidity goes higher, more people have money to spend on things out in the world, and that means more people can buy luxury goods or buy Louis Vuitton or buy cars or buy houses or buy things a little out of their price range because interest rates are down a little bit. So instead of buying a $500,000 house, maybe you buy a $750,000 house, right? Just because it's a little bit cheaper or there's a little bit more money out there that you can reach. And so global liquidity is this idea of what is the monetary policy, what's the credit supply, and what are people demanding of it, right? This is the current global liquidity index here in 2024. This little faint line is the 65-month alternating cycle that global liquidity typically resides in. Sometimes it does it well, sometimes it doesn't do it so well, but you can see what happened in 2021. It followed it perfectly, perfectly. Called the top of where Bitcoin, crypto, real estate, all these crazy assets topped in 2021, 2022. This was the top of global liquidity. Today, here in 2024 and in 2023, when we had our Bitcoin bottom kind of, or crypto bottom, where was global liquidity? It was at the bottom of its M2 global liquidity cycle. So the expectation here, you can read this right here. The expectation from analysts is that global liquidity bottomed in 2022 and looks to expand until its next peak sometime around late 2025. Well, doesn't that correlate really well with the Bitcoin halving cycle? And doesn't that correlate really well with the crypto cycle? So over here, global liquidity would mean that there's more money in the system, it's expanding, and it's expanding right on time for crypto and Bitcoin to do this crazy thing. So this is the first big indicator that we have, that more money is coming into the system and we don't need to be scared. When money's leaving the system, we have a lot of reason to think that asset prices are going to go down or risky things are going to go down, right? And other things might outperform like gold, right? But right now, that's not happening. Right now, the economies of the world are expanding. And when they expand, people get richer, they get more investments, they get riskier, and that's what we're going into. After that, currently the United States federal government is lowering interest rates. What does that mean? Well, when they lower interest rates, it typically means money is easier to access. Imagine if you have an interest rate at 10%. Say you want to buy a house that's $500,000 and you have an interest rate at 10% versus an interest rate at 1%. You'd be a lot better off with the interest rate at 1% because it would make the house 10 times cheaper based on your interest rate, right? Currently, at the peak of where the United States was, we were at a 5.5% interest rate. In September, they dropped it 50 basis points, which is 0.5%. So now we're at about 5% interest rates. And people are really thinking in late December or in November, we could have another 50 basis point reduction, which would bring this down to 4.5%. So as the United States government lowers interest rates, asset prices have abilities to increase because people can increase their rate of borrowing. They can increase their investments. They can raise asset prices because it's cheaper to get things like houses, cars, loans, And when it's cheaper to get those things, they can, businesses, entrepreneurs, individuals with wealth can get them. Other people can get houses, and it boosts the economy, and people have extra money in their pocket at the end of the month, which means they buy assets, they buy crypto, they buy stocks. This leads to this global monetary policy cycle, this business cycle that is in an upwards trajectory. Global liquidity is up, interest rates are down, which means United States asset prices are up, stocks are up, S&P 500's up, crypto's up. This is the direction that we're going. Even if it doesn't feel like it, this is the direction that we are going. You can see it right here as well. This is where we are currently. Interest rates are dropping. This was 08. Interest rates are dropping, right? This was the dot-com bubble. Interest rates dropped. So we had our big issue in 2021. Crazy COVID stuff led us to 2021 to get right here. Now we are dropping. And there's some nuance to this. Could we have a hard landing? Could we have a soft landing? Could the recession be delayed to like late 25 or early 26? I really think that's possible. Typically, every time we get these drops in interest rates, we do have a recession, right? We do have a recession. That's what all these dark gray lines are here. Recession, 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 recession. This was 08, so that's a big recession. People are just waiting for the recession to happen this time, but I don't think it happens early 25. I think we have this big cycle, this massive cycle of crypto, stocks, everything. Late 25, we get our top. Early 26, we get our top, and that's when we go into a recession. So that's what is happening in America right now. So we have global liquidity increasing and rates lowering, which are making things easier to access. More money in the system, good for stocks and crypto. After all that, we have this beautiful thing called the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, the halving cycle. And basically, every 4 years, it gets more expensive to mine Bitcoin. You get less rewards for mining Bitcoin. And therefore, the price of Bitcoin needs to go up to pay the miners. This is what has happened earlier this year in, I think it was May. May we had our halving. But we had our halving. This is what happens after every halving in Bitcoin history. Halving, 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 and halving. Massive upcycle, massive upcycle, massive upcycle. And we have our logarithmic here. This is a logarithmic chart, so it doesn't look as great, but this is an impressive rise every single time. What have we not gotten so far? The impressive rise of Bitcoin. So we know Bitcoin's going to go up. If Bitcoin did not go up, everyone has a great excuse to say, we did not know that was going to happen, because historically, it does not happen. Bitcoin always goes up after the 4-year cycle, after the halving in the post-halving year. It just, we need a couple months. So if we expect the money supply to go up, if we expect interest rates to come down, and we expect Bitcoin to go up, why would I be worried about Cardano's price? Regardless of what Cardano has going for it, what it's done over the past couple of years, we'll get to that in a second. But regardless of all those things, why would I be worried about my altcoin position? If I did the research, if I did fundamental analysis, if I did tokenomic analysis, if I looked at some of the competition and understood where Cardano was good, where other projects were good, why Solana's good, or why Ethereum's good, or why Solana's bad, or why Ethereum's bad, or why Bitcoin's bad, right? If I actually took the time to research and looked at these things, and I ended up in Cardano at the end of the day, which is what happened with me, why would I be worried at this point? Why would I be worried right now? Why would I have fear and lack confidence in the position? Because we're at the perfect time in the cycle to buy crypto, especially altcoins. If money's going up, if liquidity is going up, if rates are coming down, and if Bitcoin is in its very last year of the halving cycle, why would you be worried in your Cardano position if you're in Cardano for the right reasons? Now, if you're in Cardano because you saw someone like me on YouTube say, go buy Cardano, and you didn't look at other things and you don't really believe in the mission, then yeah, I understand why you're scared. But if you bought Cardano because you like the technology, you like what it's done over the last couple of years, and you like, kind of this vision Charles Hoskinson's put forward of a new version of a blockchain that doesn't really do what a lot of other blockchains do. If you looked at it from that area, why would you be worried right now? Theoretically, the next 12 months are going to be the best time in the world for Cardano price, Cardano native asset prices, and then all the news that's coming out with Cardano and Cardano natives. So just with those three things, you could argue that a lot of these crypto assets are in a prime time buying position. Now, I want to talk about why. Again, here, we're in this bear trap phase. Yeah, this is what Bitcoin did October 2016, 2020, and 2024. We're just waiting for that parabolic phase. 2025, basically. Okay. So that's where we are in the cycle. And even if you don't believe in the cycle, we have to believe in it until it's broken. So this is what's coming. The massive upside. So after all that, then maybe you should look at, well, what makes Cardano so great? And in my opinion, these are the things. So in 2021, September of 2021, we had our $3 top on ADA, and it corresponded perfectly with the Alonzo hard fork. This is where Cardano got smart contracts. And so last cycle, Cardano didn't even have smart contracts. It didn't have active development. It didn't have all these things. It just had a promise and a dream, and it got to $3. Yeah, the cycle was crazy last cycle. People were doing crazy things. Hype was everywhere. But this is the realistic idea of what happened. Over the last 3 years, Cardano has done tremendous to build itself out and be a functional ecosystem and a competitor with a lot of other large L1s. Last month, we had our Chang hard fork right here, and price is at 30 cents. So if you look at this, you say, well, where's the discrepancy? We have more technology, but we have a lower price. Why is that? And it's simply just where the crypto cycle is in the phase. Would you argue that Cardano was better back here at $2.50, $3 than it is today at 25 cents to 35 cents? I would say no. I would say today Cardano is better, and because of that, I see it as a value play. If we come down here, what are some of the things Cardano has done over the last 3 years? One, smart contracts, which has led to a growing DeFi ecosystem. You know, we got 5 DEXs, we got 5 lending protocols, we got 5 wallets, we have, 5 major meme coins, 5 major NFT projects. There's 5 of everything. There's 5 of everything. And if people say Solana has this or Ethereum has this, it's not true. Cardano has it as well. Cardano has SNEC fund. It has its own pump fund. It has massive NFT utility projects and PFP projects and lending protocols that are competing with each other and DEXs that are competing with each other and aggregators, right? Lending aggregators, DEX aggregators. You got butane and synthetics and all these things. So the ecosystem's there. The total value locked is growing on the lending protocols and in smart contracts. As people make money this cycle, it will grow exponentially. Governance is now live with a Chang hard fork, and Cardano is the first major blockchain to have this massive on-scale government where there's a constitution and people can travel to these committees and people can vote and vote to a D-Rep and have a say, right? It's like a real republic of Cardano. The Genesis keys are gone, so Cardano is the most decentralized blockchain out there with a MAV or a Nakamoto coefficient of like 58 or something, I think, based on the EDI metrics. And so Cardano, I see it as this thing that's doing its own unique way to solve the crypto trilemma, to solve the blockchain trilemma, to do things differently. I really do see Cardano as like an apple. An apple. Apple, the company, not the fruit. But, we can have another video why I think Cardano is like Apple. But Apple, for a long time, was second to Microsoft. People thought Apple was second to Microsoft. And I see Cardano as Apple in that pre-phase where they thought it was second to Ethereum, second to Cardano, or I'm sorry, second to Solana, right? But I think Cardano will get its flowers someday, and I want to be there when it does, and I want to invest now before it gets those flowers. So I see Cardano doing all these great things, and we can dive into the ecosystem in other videos, and we can dive into some of these things further. But Cardano has done a lot in 3 years, and it's continuing to have more on the roadmap. Like right now, we're going into Leos, which is going to scale Cardano with the input endorsers. So I'm very excited for that. And so Cardano is doing all these things. If you bought into Cardano for the right reasons, I want you to see the good things, and I want you to see the opportunity ahead of you. The last thing I want to talk about in this video real quick is ADA and altcoins are bottoming against Bitcoin. This is the ADA Bitcoin chart. And what you have here is basically, this was 2019, and this is 2024. Cardano got it down to about 400, 500 Satoshis. Today it's about 500 Satoshis. Again, ADA against Bitcoin is valued in Satoshis. And so this is what happened. This is what is currently happening. We had this pattern, and we had this pattern. Why would you expect anything to happen differently than it did last time and to have this rocket upwards? That's what I'm waiting for. Is this rocket upwards? And that's 2025. I have the chart right here. Let's see. This is Cardano currently doing great stuff. ADA Bitcoin. Yep, this is ADA Bitcoin right here. And so, you know, this path right here took Cardano about 12 to 16 months. And that's where we are today. So this is why I'm not worried about Cardano's price one bit, because we have money in the system. We got interest rates coming down. Bitcoin is topping, or Bitcoin right here, Bitcoin is topping against altcoins, or altcoins are bottoming against Bitcoin. And these cycles are flipping. It's no longer Bitcoin's game anymore. Now it's altcoin's game. And this is the time right now to be in Cardano and Cardano native assets. You can even take this one step further and say, well, a lot of these altcoins on Cardano native tokens, are bottoming against ADA, while ADA bottoms against Bitcoin. So there's massive opportunity, in my opinion, for Cardano in the crypto ecosystem, because I'm buying into Cardano for certain reasons. If you just buy in for price or for what other people say or for what influencers say, you're not really going to have that level of conviction. But when I look at other ecosystems, to me, Ethereum's too expensive to work on. I don't want to do a $500 transaction for gas. Solana is just, it's getting more decentralized, it's getting better, but I don't see it as like a global monetary company blockchain that is protecting the retail user with decentralization, with governance, with more freedom, right? Solana's super fast, it does great things, and I think it will be a great crypto to invest in. But if I'm going to use something for the decentralized future of money, I think Cardano is just better. I look at a lot of cryptos and I just see Cardano doing things a lot differently, which is why I like to invest into it, which is why I'm looking at price today and I'm saying, well, the direction of the market's up, so Cardano is going up. And I think that there is no need to worry because of those things. Hopefully that kind of explains why I think Cardano is in a great position to be invested in today. And I think in 12 months, I think in 12 months, we're going to be really excited where Cardano goes and what this cycle has for Cardano in the euphoria phase. I think that we could see a $5, $7, $8 Cardano in 2025. And I think that that could be just an incredible return on investment for a lot of people. I'd be curious to hear what you say. Do you think, are you worried about Cardano's price? Why have you bought into the Cardano ecosystem? Let us know in the comments, but those are my reasons. 4 main reasons why I'm not worried and 4 main reasons why Cardano is going to have a massive 2025. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.